Hi, Paul Mascetta here with InfluenceMaster.com, and today I wanted to talk to you about 3 ratios that you can pay attention to that will boost and increase your sales productivity if you are in the sales business. Now, I've been in sales for as far back as I can remember, and in my little group of friends, I was always the one that was in sales with the commission-based job, and a lot of my friends thought that I was a little crazy for doing this. They couldn't understand how I could work every week not knowing that I had a guaranteed paycheck coming to me. I couldn't understand how they could work every week for a paycheck that's the same no matter how hard they work or how skilled or more talented or educated they are than the person who does the same job as them. I believe that people should be paid based upon their results, not based upon what they do. And so that's why I always chose a career in sales. I love the ability to control my own paycheck. If I needed to make some extra money, I could just make some extra sales. Well, a lot of people always ask me, Paul, how do you make sales? How do you make extra sales when you need them? What's the process that you follow? And so the answer that I give is it's actually a very simple process that starts with a famous quote from Stephen R. Covey, who wrote the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the habits in his book is begin with the end in mind. I love that because what that says to me is I am envisioning what the end result looks like and then I'm working backwards. So in terms of sales, the end result is the sale. Okay? And most people that are in sales are selling to make money. I mean, you could have a love for the business that you're in, and you can have a desire to want to help people by selling them cars or selling them fitness or selling them life insurance. But the bottom line is you're a salesperson and you're in sales in that particular niche or market because you're driven by making money. If you weren't, you would be involved in some other position within that market rather as opposed to sales. And so the end result with sales is money, okay? And before money comes the sale. Before the sale comes the presentation. Before the presentation comes the appointment. And before the appointment comes the contact, okay? So that's how it looks when you begin with the end in mind and start working backwards, okay? So the first thing that you want to think about is the amount of money that you want to make every year, okay? And then you want to think about what that translates to when you break it down by month, break it down by week, and break it down by day, okay? So let's say you want to make $5,000 per month, okay? That means that you want to make around $1,200 per week. Well, now you have to figure out how many sales of whatever you're selling you have to make to get to that $1,200 per week. And then you have to figure out how many presentations you need to make to each person based on your ability to close them. And then you need to figure out how many appointments you need to have and how many contacts you need to have. Now, I know that this sounds a little overwhelming, and once you start talking about numbers and ratios, people get a little screwed up, but it's actually a very easy thing to try to understand, okay? Let's say you need to make 100 sales every single month, okay? You need to make 100 sales every single month to make your $5,000, okay? So that would mean that you're getting paid $50 per sale. For every sale, you get $50. If you get 100 sales, that will result in you getting $5,000, okay? Well, let's say that your closing ratio, okay? Your closing ratio is the amount of people that you sell versus the amount of people that you actually presented to. So let's assume your closing ratio is 50%. That means that half the people that you actually make a presentation to will make a purchase. If you make a presentation to 10 people, 5 will buy, okay? If you need to make 100 sales, then that means you need to make 200 presentations, because if you make 200 presentations, 100 of them will buy, okay? Now let's assume that your show ratio is the amount of people that actually show up for an appointment versus the amount of people that made one. So let's say that your show ratio is 50%. That means if you make an appointment with 10 people, 5 of them will show. So if you need to make 200 presentations, then that would mean that you need to have 400 appointments, okay? 400 appointments, half of them will show. That means you'll make 200 presentations, 100 people will buy, and you'll have your 100 sales, okay? Now you need to figure out how many contacts you need to make in order to get that amount of appointments, okay? So let's assume your contact to appointment ratio, which is the amount of people that actually agree to make an appointment versus the ones that you contact. Let's assume that that's 50%. So if you speak to 10 people, 5 of them will actually agree to make an appointment. that would mean that you need 800 contacts. If you have 800 contacts, 400 of them will agree to make an appointment, 200 of them will actually show up for the appointment, and 100 of them will actually buy. That would mean that you need 800 contacts in 1 month. Sounds like a lot, right? But if you think about it, 800 contacts is only about 25 contacts per day if you're working 30 days. To get 25 contacts a day is really not a hard thing to do. If you have a minimum of an 8-hour shift, then that would mean is all you need to do is talk to roughly 3 to 4 people per hour. To do that, you just need to increase your prospecting abilities, whatever it is. If you do external prospecting, if it's cold calling, if it's call drives, if it's setting up connections with local businesses that will feed you leads, speaking to 3 or 4 people per hour is not a hard thing to do at all. And if you do it, it will result in you getting 24 to 25 contacts per day, which will, on a 30-day work month, will result in 800 contacts for the month, 400 appointments, 200 presentations, 100 sales. 100 sales at $50 a sale is going to give you the $5,000 that you need at the end of the month. These ratios are something that you can apply to any sales, market, niche, or business that you're in, and they will greatly help you increase your volume simply because you're writing things down and you're paying attention to these numbers. Remember, you can't hit a target if you don't know what it is. Once again, Paul Mascetta here with InfluenceMaster.com, wishing you a great day.